I'm Serena Piervincenzi. I grew up in New Jersey. My family moved to DC when I was about 14. I was always a really anxious kid. I think around the time that I was 5 years old, I started having panic attacks. I had some traumatic stuff happen when I was 3, and I think that kind of led to that. When I was 7 years old, I got put on Zoloft for the first time, which is the anti-anxiety med that I was on until 2 years ago. And then when I was 10, we switched psychiatrists. So it was around that time I got misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder, which is not something that they're supposed to diagnose a 10-year-old with, and I don't have that. So I got put on meds like lithium, Abilify, and all these heavy mood stabilizers. I never wanted to be on them, and I would say that, but no one would listen to me. I think that's the problem with the psychiatric industry for children is children aren't listened to, and parents will listen to adults over their own child even when they mean well. I have amazing parents, but they trusted doctors over me when I knew that something was wrong. So we went to this ed consultant, and she was like, oh, I think that she needs a therapeutic school. And I ended up going to Lake House. They're advertised as boarding schools that provide extra assistance, is how they're marketed. So originally I was all on board for it, which is unusual. Most girls who go there don't even know they're going there. They get taken in the middle of the night through a process called gooning, where these big men, bodyguard type men, come into their room at 3 in the morning and rip them out of their bed with their parents' permission and drag them to these places. So I think I'm lucky that I was part of the decision to go there. There was girls there for drug issues, for behavioral issues, just for things that were kind of crazy. So that was very jarring. And I was extremely homesick. I remember I would just think about my mom and I would start crying. And I didn't talk to anybody for my first 2-3 weeks there. It was insane, kind of, because I know I have one sister, and then I suddenly was in a house with 40 girls. I remember girls getting chased around the house, getting demeaned. Sometimes girls would be punished by having to sleep in a tent in the backyard. So they'd take their shoes and they'd give them a book and they'd just have to stay there. Or if it was really cold, they'd have to sleep in the living room. So everyone would wake up and go to breakfast, and then you just have a girl in the living room on a bed, and you know she was bad. They'd also neglected medical care a lot. If a girl had a medical incident, they didn't believe you. I had a severe allergic reaction when I was there, and my throat was closing up, and it wasn't until I collapsed on the living room floor that they finally took me to the hospital. I wanted to leave, and there were girls there that had been there for 3 years, and I was terrified of being there for 3 years. They had a psychiatrist there, and he basically interviewed me, and he was like, what the fuck, you are on insane, he's like, I'm surprised that you're alive, you are on crazy amounts of medication. He took me off of everything except for the Zoloft, the one I'd been on since I was 7. But by the time I was 20, I had been re-diagnosed with ADHD, which was the diagnosis I should have had all along. I just felt like I wasn't feeling things. I just, because I'd been on it since I was 7, and I was I don't know who I am without this. So I just kind of decided what would happen if I stopped taking it. So I just did. I knew that I would withdraw, and I kind of just accepted that, and I just dealt with it. I don't look down on psych meds. I understand that they help people, but I think it has to be a decision that you make for yourself. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. It was empowering in a way, because I felt like I was taking control of something that I've never had any control over.